Push Away the Sky, their 15th studio album. And this comes after 3 more upbeat records, I suppose, because you had the 2 Grinderman albums and Dig Lazarus Dig.
Oh, yeah.
Which were all very much front foot, in your face kind of Nick Cave albums. Whereas this is very much a more laid back, quiet, introspective almost record. It's also the shortest record that we've reviewed.
Is it?
This podcast as well.
Right.
It comes in at about 40 minutes.
Oh.
So it's like a good old-fashioned album. In fact, speaking of... Look, there's a good old-fashioned album.
Have you got it? Oh, wow. Scott's pointing to a vinyl copy, propping up the wall.
Yeah, you can actually see the proper picture of his missus on that as well, rather than the slightly rather than the slightly blurry version that's on everything else.
Oh gosh, I hadn't. Obviously, on the slightly blurry version that most people will see nowadays, I hadn't noticed that. Oh, she's naked.
Yes, she is. Anyway, similarly to funny enough, with the Laura Mvula thing, I could actually also imagine her doing a duet with Nick Cave. Strangely enough. Particularly when Cave's in this kind of mood, because like I said, it is a very much quite a sparse record that again is more about atmosphere and it's ballad based, it has to be said. I think it gets off to a great start with We Know Who You Are, which is just a cracking opening track, and goes into Wide Lovely Eyes, which was the thing that particularly got me thinking about Laura Mvula again, because it has some great vocal harmonies in the chorus when I was thinking, I could just imagine her kind of coming in, kind of harmonising with him on that kind of thing. And then the other album, the rest of the album, you've got a mixture of kind of almost straight ballads, if you like, if that's the right word to use. So things really good like Mermaids, which is one of my favourite tracks on the album, and the title track, Push the Sky Away.
Yeah.
Which is almost kind of Scott Walker-esque.
Agreed.
Which I actually didn't mention on the Bowie album, obviously, because the final track on the Bowie album is very
Scott Walker.
Yeah. And then you got, quite amusingly, you've got a song called Jubilee Street, and then you've got a song they wrote about writing Jubilee Street. Which is the ultimate lazy songwriting, surely. I've written a song called Jubilee Street. I'm then going to write a song called Finishing Jubilee Street, which explains how I wrote the song, which I thought was actually quite funny.
It was hilarious.
And also, how can you not like an album that has a song called Higgs Boson Blues on it?
Yeah.
Which is one of the few times when the album gets slightly louder.
Yeah.
But it's probably the only even vaguely loud moment on an album that is, like I said, very much a kind of relaxed record. And again, it's the kind of thing that you could quite easily have on coming after the Laura Mvula album whilst you're sitting there just chilling.
Yeah, I completely agree. Nick Cave's chill out album. I was trying to remember which one it was. It was Grinderman 2, I think, was the last one we possibly looked at.
I think so, yes.
On this podcast. But in complete contrast, I think, to what you'd expect a Nick Cave or a recent Nick Cave album to sound like. Very, very nice record to listen to, very comfortable. Again, I'm wrapping myself in blankets in this podcast. As you say, the opening track in particular was a little instrumentation or a synth or something right at the very, very start, the first few notes of the album, which just hooked me immediately.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know, it just sort of drew you in, and a bit like the Laura Mvula album, the tracks built around just little things like that, and it didn't have the bombast and blast of the usual sort of the Bad Seeds sound.
Yes.
You know, so a very enjoyable record to listen to again. Gosh. And the first release on the Pet Shop Boys' new label.
Oh.
Which was the other news that shocked me this month as well.
Well, it shocked me to hear they were releasing another record, because I thought, look, I've only just reviewed one. I can't be about to have to do it again.
Yeah, no, they actually cited this one album in the press release as a success that they're obviously looking to emulate.
Oh, there you go. It'll probably be mentioned on the back then.